It's still to this day the only time a team has played game 163 in back-to-back seasons. You had lost to the White Sox the year before, won it against the Tigers that night. And Joe, I know that you were a part of a group that just recently got together to watch this game again. That was a very tight group of Twins players.
It really was. You know, it was really fun. I think the game was probably on the network, I believe, and we started a thread, and there was a group of us that, you know, during the quarantine, we had plenty of time on our hands, and everybody happened to be sitting on a couch and watching the game, and it was fun just to kind of reminisce and see what other guys were thinking at certain moments, and you know, just talking about plays that come up. You know, Cuddy talked about the play at first that he dove and thought he tagged the guy out, but he was like, you know what? It set up a pretty good situation, a pretty good double play later on in the inning. So it's kind of cool that it didn't happen that way.
So in the first extra inning, in the 10th inning, the Tigers took the lead. Brandon Inge with a double that drove in Don Kelly, and they had a 5-4 lead. But then, Michael, in the bottom of the 10th, I'm not sure that it was the greatest triple that you ever hit, but it sure came at a good time.
A little fly ball into shallow left. It's going to drop, and it gets by Rayburn. Granderson can't get it. It's up against the wall. Kadire on his way to third. Throw late.
I just wanted to put together a good at bat. I mean, results, whatever, who knows what's going to happen. But if you put together a good at bat, you got a chance. And I was able to foul off quite a few pitches. You know, with him, I would tend to sit changeup because that was his out pitch. That was his devastating pitch. And I always felt like I could foul the fastball off and spoil the fastball to get to the changeup. But he never threw that changeup. He just kept throwing fastball after fastball after fastball. And I was fouling him up, fouling it off in, fouling it off away. He ran a fastball in on me. I was able to muscle it out into the outfield. Once I see Rayburn dive, the ball gets by him. I knew I had to get on my horse. And, you know, if you see at the very end there, I knew the ball was coming from kind of left center, and I knew Inge was lined up to catch it. So I had to slide as late and as wide as I possibly could. It kind of looked like an awkward slide, but I was trying to get in Inge's way so he couldn't make the quick tag. Fortunately, we were safe and then able to have a couple good at-bats after that.
I don't know about you, but I don't know how he fouled that pitch off.
That thing looked like Bill of the Cap high.
That at-bat for me was just incredible. Like, I watched it the other day, and the fastballs he was throwing you, Cuddy, were so firm at your letters, like up here. And you were just getting enough of it. Like, it was just an incredible bat. And that lifted us. That triple was absolutely huge. Your energy, you know, Cuddy's got that way where, like, he just gets on the bases and he just runs like an animal out there, and it fires all of us up.
So now to the top of the 12th inning, and the Tigers load the bases with one out. And one of the best fielding plays ever made by Nick Punto. We'll ask you about it. With a little chopper, and you got, you know, this is an artificial turf. So, you know, the hops aren't predictable at all, but you made one of the greatest fielding plays, getting a force play at home. In advance of that, I know fielders are taught to anticipate the ball coming to you, different situations. What am I going to do with the ball? But how or when did you decide to try to get that force play at home?
How or when? I guess the short answer would be at the last minute, but that's something you think about. Good infielders, good defensive players are thinking about the situation before it happens. 3 or 4 different situations. What if I go this way? What if I do that? Right? You're thinking, the ball's in the hole. I got to dive, make a play. You know, we got to turn a double play if I dive. But in that scenario, Brandon Inge, you take into account what a gamer he is, right? He might not be the fleetest of foot, but when the game's on the line, you're going to see his hardest 90 he's ever run, right? So you take that into account. I felt like I knew I could get the out at home and then continue the inning, but I just didn't feel like we had the double play there.
Within that half inning, the Twins got a huge break, Michael, when it looked like Brandon Inge, he wasn't hit by the pitch, but his uniform was. And back in those days, there wasn't replay. If there had been, the Tigers would have gotten a run that inning anyway, but the Twins got a big break with the hit by pitch not being called.
Huge break. I mean, obviously, you know, he was hit by a pitch technically. The rules say he was hit by the pitch, but man, I swear he had like a size 53 jersey from it, and he was one of the smallest guys on the field. So maybe it was karma for wearing that big jersey, but he did get hit, and we got lucky with that. We battled, we're down, we battle back to tie, we get down again, we keep battling, and, to their credit, they're battling as well. I mean, it was just a hard-fought game, a lot of crazy situations that happened through it. Fortunately, we were able to keep our poise, and when they were having big hits and big home runs and big doubles, we never got down on ourselves. We never lost faith, and we kept having good at bats. I think that's the thing I remember the most is the quality of that. I mean, Nick had 3 or 4 at bats that were probably the best at bats I've seen all season from anybody on our team. And I think everybody in the lineup had their best at bats that night, and we needed it.
Leadoff walk, 1 at bat.
What do you guys remember about this incredibly emotional game finally coming to a close, and the Twins are going to win the division? Michael?
It's funny because it all kind of is blurry at the end, but I mean, I just remember we were celebrating in the clubhouse, and at some point I just was like, look, we got to get ready. We got to fly to New York. We got a game in like less than 12 hours. So, I think I stood up middle of the locker room. I gave out our game ball that I was giving out and just said, hey, we got to get ready, and Gardy came in and he said, enjoy this. We got to start packing up and get ready to go to New York.
There's a great picture outside the Twins clubhouse of a Michael Kadire jumping about 4 feet in the air coming out of the dugout.
A great picture.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't dunk very much. I dunked like one time in high school, but I think I could have hit the top of the rim or top of the backboard on that one.
Nick, what was your reaction when the game finally was over with?
Oh my gosh, just exhaustion. I remember being exhausted, mentally just drained, totally mentally, physically drained. And like Cuddy said, we had 12 hours to play till we played our next game, and it just came on us so fast, right? Like it would have been nice to have a day off or a couple days just to kind of soak it all up. But we just a whirlwind of emotions, and then before you know it, we were down 1-0 to the Yankees.
Well, guys, thanks so much for being with us and reminiscing about a game that no one thought should have been played because the Twins, as we said, were just kind of languishing near 500 at the start of the month of September. The Twins had planned their farewell to the Metrodome, but as it turned out, that game 163 will go down in history as the greatest regular season game in Metrodome history.
Guys, we really appreciate the conversation. Always fun to reflect back on one of the great nights in Twins history. Stay safe during this time, and thank you very much for joining us.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Nice to see you guys, and hope we see you soon after this, man.
See you, go.
All right.
It'd be fun to see these guys around the ballpark. Thanks to Carlos Gomez and Joe Nathan. Thanks to Michael Kadire and Nick Punto and to Dick Bramer. And thank you for joining us on this special edition of Unscripted.